Let's be honest. Buying a lottery ticket in Canada feels harmless. A few dollars at the gas station, a scratch ticket with your coffee, a quick what if while you're standing beside the chocolate bars and windshield washer fluid. And for a few seconds, life feels different. The mortgage is gone. The car is paid off. Groceries no longer require a full parliamentary budget debate. But here's the uncomfortable question. What if the lottery is not really selling you a ticket? What if it is selling you a tiny, weekly escape from your actual financial plan? And this is where many Canadians get caught. Not because they buy one ticket, but because the dream is cheap enough to repeat.
This video is not about judging anyone. Most of us have spent money on something that made no financial sense. A $7 coffee when there's coffee at home, a streaming subscription we forgot existed, a grocery trip where we went in for milk and came out with $86 worth of little things. Classic Canadian financial cardio. But lottery tickets are different because they do something powerful. They make hope feel affordable. And when rent is high, groceries are rude, car insurance is acting like a second landlord, and your paycheck disappears faster than snow in April, a lottery ticket can feel like a tiny piece of control. But wait until you see what happens when just a few dollars becomes a weekly habit.
I call this the hope tax. Not an official tax. The CRA is not sending you a T-slip called T-Hope. At least not yet. Let's not give them ideas. The hope tax is the money people spend because they feel stuck. They are not really buying odds. They are buying the feeling of possibility. And that feeling is powerful. Because for a few dollars, you get to imagine quitting the job, paying off the house, helping your family, buying a cottage, and never again checking whether cheese is on sale. But here's the part nobody likes to say out loud. Hope is not a financial plan. Hope can motivate you. Hope can keep you going. But if hope is replacing saving, budgeting, debt repayment, or investing, then hope has become expensive. Lottery tickets are common in Canada. Statistics Canada reported that in 2018, over half of Canadians had bought a lottery or raffle ticket in the past year, and about 1/3 had bought or played instant lottery tickets or instant online games. So if you've ever bought one, you are not some financial villain. You're a normal person living in a country where lottery tickets are right there beside the gum, the coffee, and the I forgot my reusable bag again guilt. But common does not mean harmless. That is the trap. Because the lottery does not usually destroy a budget in one dramatic moment. It leaks into the budget, quietly, like a basement in spring. At first, it is just a little damp. Then suddenly, you are standing there with a shop vac, wondering where your money went.
Let's do simple math. Not scary math. No university calculus. No spreadsheet with 19 tabs named Final Version Real Final. Just basic Canadian wallet math. If someone spends $5 a week on lottery tickets, that is about $260 a year. If it is $10 a week, that is about $520 a year. If it is $20 a week, that is about $1,040 a year. Now here is the hook. The ticket feels small because you buy it weekly. The cost feels bigger when you add it yearly. And that is how budget leaks work. They hide in habits. Nobody says, I'm going to spend $1,040 this year on lottery tickets. They say, it's only $20. And honestly, that sentence has quietly defeated more budgets than winter heating bills.
Now ask yourself, what could $520 or $1,040 mean in a Canadian household? That could be part of an emergency fund, a chunk of credit card debt gone, a car repair cushion, a month of groceries for some households, a few hydro bills, a winter tire fund, or
money that stops your bank account from looking like it is holding its breath 3 days before payday. This is the real cost, not just the ticket, the missed option. The money had a job, but instead of working for you, it went into a dream machine. And the dream machine is very good at making you forget the boring options. Because emergency fund does not sound exciting. Nobody jumps up and says, "Congratulations, you won a fully funded car maintenance category." But boring money is often the money that saves you.
Now, here is the Canadian twist. In Canada, lottery winnings are generally not taxable. That sounds amazing. And yes, according to CRA, lottery winnings generally do not have to be reported as income, unless the prize is connected to employment, business, property, or certain achievement prizes. So someone might say, see, lottery winnings are tax-free. That makes it better. Not so fast. This is where the trap gets sneaky. Tax-free does not mean risk-free. Tax-free does not mean likely. Tax-free does not mean smart for your budget. A coupon for something you do not need is not savings. A tax-free jackpot you probably will not win is not a retirement plan. And a lottery ticket is not suddenly a wealth strategy because the CRA is not waiting at the finish line with a giant maple-scented invoice. The tax treatment is interesting, but the habit is the real issue. Again, buying the occasional ticket is not the point of this video. This is not about turning into the fun police. Nobody wants a finance channel that sounds like your calculator became disappointed in you. The real question is this entertainment money? Or is it money you actually need for something else? Because those are two very different things. Entertainment money is planned. Budget leak money is unconscious. Entertainment money says, I can afford this and I know what I'm spending. Budget leak money says, I have no idea where my money went. But somehow I bought 3 scratch tickets, 2 coffees, and a gas station muffin that tasted like drywall. That is the difference. Here is the test. Go back through the last 30 days. Look for lottery tickets, scratch tickets, small bets, impulse spending, and little it's only a few dollars purchases. Add them up. Do not judge yourself. Just add. Because your bank statement is not there to insult you. It is there to tell the truth. And sometimes the truth is, friend, we have been leaking money beside the cash register. FCAC recommends using a budget to understand your income, expenses, spending habits, and financial goals, and its budget planner is designed to help people see where their money is going. That is the power move. Not shame. Awareness. Because once you can see the leak, you can choose what to do with it.
Now here is the part that can actually change your money. You do not have to quit every fun thing. That usually fails. The goal is not to become so strict with money that your budget has the emotional warmth of a February bus stop. The goal is to redirect part of the habit. For example, if you spend $20 a week, maybe you cut it to $5. Now, $15 a week can go somewhere else. That is about $780 a year redirected. Not magic, not influencer nonsense, just math. That money could go toward debt, savings, a TFSA, if appropriate for your situation, a real emergency fund, my car made a weird noise and I refuse to panic fund. That is not as exciting as a jackpot, but it is real. And real money beats imaginary money almost every time.
Here is why this habit is hard. The lottery is not just about money. It is about relief. People are tired. Tired of bills. Tired of rent. Tired of groceries acting like luxury goods. Tired of working hard and still feeling behind. So the lottery says, what if all of this disappeared? That is a powerful message. But personal finance has a quieter message. What if things got 5% better because you made one repeatable change? That does not sound as dramatic, No confetti, no giant check, no neighbors suddenly pretending they always liked you. But slow progress is underrated. Because most Canadians do not need a fantasy as much as they need breathing room. And breathing room usually comes from boring moves repeated long enough.
Here is a dangerous sentence. The lottery is my retirement plan. People usually say it as a joke. But sometimes the joke is hiding fear. Because retirement feels impossible. Housing feels impossible. Saving feels impossible. So the lottery becomes a fantasy escape hatch. But here is the truth. If a plan only works when something extremely unlikely happens, it is not a plan. It is a wish wearing a winter coat. A real plan can start small. $10, $20, one automatic transfer, one debt payment, one canceled budget leak, one boring step that gives you more control than another ticket. And control is the thing most people are actually looking for. The biggest lottery mistake is not buying one ticket. The biggest mistake is letting lottery spending become invisible. Invisible spending is dangerous because it does not ask for permission. It just repeats. Every week, every payday, every grocery run, every time you feel stressed. And before you know it, the habit has quietly taken money from your future self. Not in a dramatic movie villain way. More like a raccoon getting into your green bin at 2 a.m. Messy, annoying, and somehow avoidable. So here is the simple checklist. First, add up your last 30 days of lottery and impulse spending. Second, multiply that number by 12. Third, ask yourself, would I still choose this if I saw the yearly cost up front? Fourth, decide whether it stays entertainment money or gets reduced. And fifth, redirect the difference before it disappears. Because money without a job usually finds a job. And that job is often snacks, tickets, subscriptions, and random purchases you barely remember. Give the money a better job first. And one serious note. If lottery spending or gambling feels hard to control, or if you feel like you have to hide it, borrow for it, or chase losses, that is not a character flaw. That is a signal to get support. This video is about awareness, not shame. Money habits are easier to change when you are honest about them early.
So yes, lottery winnings in Canada are generally not taxable. But that is not the real story. The real story is what happens before anyone wins. The weekly spending, the quiet budget leak, the dream that feels cheap but repeats for years. The lottery sells the fantasy of one lucky day, but a budget gives you control on normal days. And for most Canadians, normal days are where financial progress actually happens. So next time you see that ticket at the counter, ask yourself one question. Am I buying entertainment, or am I outsourcing my financial hope to a piece of paper? Because a ticket might give you a dream for a few minutes, but a plan gives you options. And in Canada right now, options might be the real jackpot. If this made you look at small spending differently, comment budget leak below and tell me which everyday Canadian money habit I should break down next. Coffee runs, subscriptions, car payments, grocery impulse buys, or credit card debt.